This is TechCrunch. Natron's liquidation shows why the U.S. is not ready to make its own batteries. So Natron was a sodium-ion battery startup, but they ceased operations this past week, ending the company's 12-year quest to commercialize its technology in the U.S. As TechCrunch's Tim DeShant writes, the company had $25 million worth of orders lined up for its Michigan factory, but it couldn't deliver them until it had UL certification. That's according to the Raleigh News and Observer, which reported on the business's closure because Natron had been planning to bring jobs to North Carolina with its new factory. However, receiving the UL certification can be a lengthy process, often spanning several months. Natron investors balked at releasing more funds, leaving the startup facing a cash crunch. Natron's primary shareholder, Sherwood Partners, attempted to sell its stake but found no buyers. As a result, it's liquidating the company and laying off all but a small number of employees who will oversee the wind-down of operations. Now, the closure is an example of the challenges that come with trying to manufacture batteries without consistent industrial policies. The road from startup to gigafactory often takes a decade or more, a journey that lasts longer than most business cycles, and certainly longer than most investor fads. Natron is being carved up through a process known as assignment for the benefit of creditors, an alternative to Chapter 7 bankruptcy that could result in a speedy and quiet sale of assets that foregoes the court proceedings that many liquidations follow. The company had announced a year ago that it would build a much larger $1.4 billion sodium-ion battery factory in North Carolina capable of producing gigawatt-hours worth of cells per year, creating as many as 1,000 jobs. Natron had focused on stationary storage and data center customers, markets where sodium-ion's lower energy density is not as much of a concern. While sodium-ion batteries have the potential to be significantly cheaper than their lithium-ion competitors owing to sodium's abundance, their potential has been undercut by a lithium price war in China. In the last 2.5 years, the price of lithium carbonate has cratered, dropping 90%, according to Benchmark Mineral Intelligence. Natron is only the latest casualty in a string of recent attempts to manufacture large quantities of batteries outside of Asia. In June, Oregon-based Powin filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as it failed to find a non-Chinese supplier of lithium iron phosphate cells. The company used the cells to assemble grid-scale batteries. Earlier this year, Swedish battery manufacturer Northvolt also filed for bankruptcy in its home country, ending the journey for Europe's best chance at a homegrown competitor. The company was reportedly burning through $100 million a month as it struggled to master large-scale manufacturing. BMW canceled a $2 billion contract in June of last year because of Northvolt's inability to deliver. The string of failures highlights the difficulty of building battery companies outside Asia, which has, over the decades, developed both mature supply chains and companies with vast expertise. If the U.S. or Europe is to succeed in creating domestic challengers to the Asian battery giants, it will take sustained government support for a decade or more, not the whipsawing that has defined the last 15 years. Given political realities, joint ventures with companies like Panasonic, LG Energy Solution, and SK Innovation are more likely to succeed. For the foreseeable future, the West's best chance at domestic battery manufacturing still runs through Asia. Acqui-hires feel like they're here to stay. The team behind Xcode, a popular tool that lets developers use AI models within Apple's development suite Xcode, is joining OpenAI. In a post on social media, Xcode's founder, Daniel Adresian, said the startup's team is joining OpenAI's Codex division, which is building the company's AI coding agent. Y Combinator-backed Xcode was founded back in 2024, and it sought to integrate AI models into Xcode. Apple, however, earlier this year updated Xcode to let users tap ChatGPT and other AI models without needing external tools. Andreessen did not mention if this was the reason his startup's team has joined OpenAI. He said, "When we started out, Xcode had no AI. Building a cursor for Xcode sounded crazy, but we managed to do it anyway. And over time, we built the best coding agent for iOS and macOS apps." In a post on Xcode's blog, the startup said that it would continue supporting existing users, though the app will no longer be able to be downloaded after October 1st. The company noted that the team will not add new features to the tool, but would maintain the product as long as existing users are using it. Xcode's Y Combinator listing notes that the startup had 3 people working on the coding tool. It is not clear if all those employees are joining OpenAI. We asked OpenAI for a comment, and if they do respond back, TechCrunch will update this story. OpenAI has done a few similar acquisitions in the past, hiring only the team behind a startup rather than buying the whole company. The company just earlier this week said it was acquiring product testing startup Statsig for $1.1 billion. That's it from TechCrunch. For more bite-sized, crunchable tech stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.